I am a proud Indian, and I am a follower of the Zoroastrian religion, the world's oldest monotheist religion, based on the fundamentals of the religion and teachings of Prophet Zarathustra. The religion was propounded in 1600 BC in Persia, 1,600 years before Christ, 2,100 years before Islam. In fact, the world acknowledges that the three wise men who saw the cosmic appearance of the eastern star and followed it to Bethlehem were actually the three Magi's, who were the three Zoroastrian priests. What I'm going to be doing is the entire collective of the Zoroastrian ethos is based on easy-to-follow tenets and practices of the Zoroastrian religion, which have been transmitted from one generation of its followers to the next generation of its followers through very powerful stories, parables, and fables. A lesson for all of us in the corporate world to ensure that we could use this powerful means of fables, parables, and stories to be able to transmit our corporate cultures from one generation of our managers to the next generation of our managers. What I will do today in the next few moments is I will try and curate two small slices from the Zoroastrian ethos and pull out from that transferable lessons of learning for contemporary management and leadership, which I'm sure will benefit all of us. To narrate the story, I'm going to take three creative licenses from you. The first is, like a mentalist, I'm going to take you 1,000 years behind time from today, and in your mind's eye, imagine the calendar to read the date 939 AD. Second is, I'm going to take you away from this beautiful air-conditioned room and take you 200 miles from here to a place called Sanjan. And after having reached there, I'm going to be entering into the body of my great-great-great-great-grandfather who's sitting on that boat, and I'm going to be narrating to you our experiences of what happened out there. I am the 12th linear descendant of that diehard who was sitting on the boat. Come, join with me on the journey. So we are all on the boat, and we have been sailing for the last 2 months. We are tired, we are fatigued, we are hungry. We have sailed through turbulent seas, and we have gone through thunderous storms. We were farmers. We were not even sailors. In fact, we did not know how to steer the boats when the waves were violently throwing us up and tossing us into the high seas. We did not know how to sail the boats. We had wailing children with us on the boats who were hungry, who had not eaten anything. Actually, they were suckling on empty breasts. We had women who had become hysteric. They didn't know what to do. They were scared, they were afraid, and they were screaming out throughout the distance. We were not worried for ourselves. We were actually worried for Atish, the holy fire that we were carrying in the urn when we brought it from Persia, because that should not fall down, because if the fire fell down into the waters, it would get desecrated, and then the whole purpose for why we were there would be lost. Therefore, throughout the entire distance of what I have been explaining to you, two of us had to keep holding on to the urn so that it doesn't fall out and get desecrated. Back home in Persia, we were happy, we were prosperous, we were very God-loving people. Zoroastrian religion, in fact, taught us that why should you not be God-loving? Why should you be God-fearing? What is to fear in the God who has created you? He is your friend. You should love him. We were very happy. We never even thought that adversity would ever strike good people in life until the evil eye of the barbaric Islamic Caliph Abu Bakr set on our great country. He had no eye for beauty. He did not understand anything. He was a religious zealot. And the only thing he wanted was ruthless Islamization of Persia, and for which he unleashed total misery. He unleashed xenophobia on the people out there. Successive kings got killed. Fire temples got destroyed. Libraries got burnt. Families were killed. Massacre of the public was happening in town. In fact, he told his soldiers, his barbaric soldiers, to offer the Zoroastrian a Hobson's choice. He said, go and ask the Zoroastrians, is your religion different from Islam? And if they said yes, kill them. And if they said no, it is very similar to Islam, then you should ask him, then why do you need two religions? Islam is already there, so convert yourself. And of course, if he converted, he could live. But if he did not convert, kill him. And that's the kind of situation in which things were happening. Most valiant Zoroastrians died fighting. They were heroes, but they were of course not as strong as those barbarians, so naturally they died. There were some who converted themselves into Islam, but in the secrets of their homes, they continued to follow the Zoroastrian religion. Ladies and gentlemen, even if today you go to Iran, you will find those old homes in which there are cellars to tend fires, which is to show that the religion was being practiced, though on the outside people profess the Islamic religion. There were some like us. How did we save ourselves? We had nothing different. Actually, we were only lucky. One day we actually heard that Abu Bakr had told his barbaric soldiers to go to the holiest of our shrines and destroy and crush our fire. We could not take this. Even if we were weak, we wanted to pull out all the little weapons that we had left with us and go and fight these barbarians because we could not let him desecrate our holy fire. It was at that point of time we met our leader and said, let's gather together, let's form ourselves into a strong team and let's fight him out. He said, you guys are stupid. For the last 100 years, you have been fighting these guys and you have not been getting a result different because you know fully well that they are so strong. They will kill you, and after killing you, they will go for the fire temple and they will destroy your fire. So what good and what purpose would it serve? So he said, you will have to do the next suicidal act. And that was to lift that urn in which the holy fire was kept and run out of our homeland. We thought it was suicidal, but we were okay with it because we were willing to do anything for our lives and for our fire. So we went home, we picked up our children, we took our wives, whatever little food was there in the house, we took that food and along with the fire, we ran to the Arabian Sea. We saw a few sailing boats and then we jumped into the sailing boat and sailed out of Persia. Happy and sad. Happy because we were saved, happy because we had saved ourselves from the clutches of the barbarians. Happy that we had protected our fire. Sad. Sad because we were leaving our homeland. Sad because we did not know how long will we be able to protect the fire in these alien lands. Ladies and gentlemen, for 2 minutes now, let's dissect from the story and let's look at what are the transferable lessons, because the whole idea that we are doing is what are transferable lessons for contemporary leadership that we can draw from some of these parables and stories. First is, we need to understand that strategy needs to be changed if you keep trying out in the business times, particularly the kind of VUCA times that we are living in, when your old strategies might not work. It is time for you to renew that you can't keep doing the same thing again and again. It is time for you to develop a new strategy. After you develop a new strategy, bias for action is very, very critical. You can keep analyzing till you're paralyzed and yet not do any action. And therefore, what is the action you will take? Now, there are 5 sacraments in any organization: vision, values, mission, strategy, and programs or plans. Every organization needs to have all 5 of them aligned together. But adversity is that moment when this alignment gets destroyed. Now, will you wait for the entire alignment to come in place before you get into action? That if you have your vision or your purpose and your values in place, you can certainly Go ahead under an inspirational leader and move on. Your strategies, your missions, your programs, your plans can all keep changing to match the situation that you're facing. And the third is, you will have to have a certain element of comfort in ambiguity. Not everything is going to be very clear to you up front. There are things which are going to be unclear. But if you have your vision, values, and an inspirational leaders, move on and the path will emerge for you. Let's get back to the story. 2 months we traveled. We were on that sail. We were sailing through the sea. And we have reached the Sanjan shore. And upon reaching the shore, we realized that there was an emissary waiting because they had identified these boats coming. We told the emissary, we want to meet the king, Maharaj Jadirana. We had asked for an appointment with him. Luckily, we got an appointment the very next day. 7 of us, including our leader, Dhaval, went to meet him. 6 of us were not selected because we were anything very wise or honest. It is only that our clothes were a little more cleaner than the others. So if you had to give an audience to the king, you had to be in good clothes. And we went and met him. We told him our saga. We told him our story. We told him our request that we wanted to come and settle in his country for the following reasons. He listened to us and we thought that we had convinced him. But he turned and said, I can understand and empathize with you, my dear friends, but my country is full of people brimming from the edges. I do not really have place for anyone to come and settle out here. Unfortunately, I can't give you the permission. Unfortunately, you will have to leave by the same sea route that you came in. But at this moment, you are our Atithis. We believe Atithi is our Dev, and therefore, please let me offer you this milk. And promptly came a bowl of milk, which was filled to the brim. We were sad. We were depressed. We were thinking, what kind of journey now we have to undertake? But of course, if we were not going to be staying, our desire to have a cup of milk, because for 2 months we have not tasted our milk, was always very there. So that's when we were looking at the milk, the leader was actually looking at an analogy. He remembered that when he was running away from Persia and when he went to his house, he found no food but some sugar, and therefore he had pegged that little sugar in his pocket and he kept. When he saw that statement of the Maharaj, he took out that packet and he poured the packet of sugar into the milk without dropping even a drop of milk from that overflowing bowl. He told the king, taste it, because our message to you is very simple. We will only be making your community very sweet. We will only be helping to the growth of your community without dropping even 1 ounce of that from your bowl. And therefore, when the king saw the analogy, he said, yes, we allow you to stay. Let's once again disconnect and see if there are any lessons in learning that we can pick from this. The first he said is that, by the way, let me tell you the 2 conditions that he had put out at that point of time. Actually, the king said that, yes, you can settle down, but there are 5 conditions that we will have to follow. 1, you can continue to follow your religion because that's what you came here for. No one will disturb you. We don't disturb in India. We don't disturb in our country anyone who is following his own religion. But no conversions. No conversions. Ladies and gentlemen, 1300 years later, the population of this diaspora in India is only 65,000 people on a population base of 130 crores in India, which mathematically comes to 0.0050%, a microscopic minority. But despite of that, even at the cost of its self-extinction, the community has not allowed any conversions. Commitments are commitments. So the learning of the lesson. The second condition he had put at that point of time is that you will continue to integrate with the Indian community and continue to make the contributions the same way you tried to impress upon us by putting sugar in the milk. Ladies and gentlemen, 1300 years, our community has been trying to work along, side by side and shoulder to shoulder, with the Indian population and contributing to the progress, as you would have realized for yourself. Promises are promises. They have to be fulfilled. I will dissect from this story because I said I will take you through two slices of the story. The second slice that we are talking about is the belief in the concept of dual cosmology. Now, dual cosmology in the Zoroastrian philosophy is about two things. In the beginning, what got created in life? So the religion says that in the beginning, time got created. Lord Ahura Mazda, the creator, the wise Lord, created time. And he gave that to King Zarwan to manage. And then he gave King Zarwan two sons, and he was happy to have two sons, but unfortunately he realized that the other son was exactly opposite of the first son. Ideally, Spentemenu was the son who represented everything that is good in life. Angremenu is the person or the son who represents every negative thing in life. And the philosophy goes that every day the forces of the good and the forces of the evil are fighting with each other. In Zoroastrian philosophy and ethos, good is not stronger than bad, though it wins the battle. But it wins the battle because people like you and me are actually supposed to contribute by our good actions, good things we do, to the forces of Spentemenu so that his hands get strengthened. The idea of the story is very simple. Each one of us has a role. We cannot leave things on to divinity. We have to do the things, we have to do the right things, because the purpose is to finally win the battle between the good and the evil, and you have a role. I have a role to do all of that, to be able to make good succeed over evil in life. There are many, many, many such stories that I can tell you. In fact, it is not only Zoroastrian stories. When we teach in various management schools, we always come to the conclusion that structured religions anywhere in the world have got so many stories, parables. Unfortunately, we keep going on to the same 150 years of structured management literature to solve our problems. But if we were to really look at all these stories and try to pull out from those fantastic lessons that are there in management, there is a lot many leadership and there's a lot many management issues that would get sorted out if we understood what they are. With this, I would like to bring this session to a certain conclusion. I want to wish you Ushtate, which in our language means, may happiness be unto you. And in your pursuit of your asha, which is the truth, which each one of us should be pursuing the truth. So in your pursuit of asha, may you be blessed with humata, hukata, huvrashta, good thoughts, good words, and good deeds.